What's going on, guys, and welcome back. First off, just want to say thank you for all the support. I know I say it, once in a blue moon, but I really appreciate it. Bruce appreciates it. Everything you guys do, like, subscribe, interact with us, share it. It's all appreciated. So I'm up here at Southside Sales and Service, as you guys can tell, and behind us we have two sleds that I get, again, a lot of questions about. And we've done a video on one and we've done a video on the other one, but we've never put them in a video together and really gone over the differences visually in one video. So in front of us, we have a VR1 137 and an XC 137. They just happen to both be 137s. The XC is the only option out of these two that you could actually still get in a 129. They did take away the 129 from the VR1 lineup this year, which we see a lot of people going towards the 137, a little bit longer track. So probably that was what was justifiable from Polaris making that call. I saw some people that were upset, but a lot of people, and again, Bruce sees them come through the shop all the time, a lot of people go with a 137 over a 129 these days. But anyway, so these just happen to both be 137s. This is a 650, a VR1. You can get a 650, 850, and a boost. And XC, you can get 650, 850, and a ProStar S4. Yeah, ProStar S4. So we have 650, and what is this XC? Oh, we have 850 XC. So anyway, I get a lot of questions about what is the actual difference between these two sleds, other than potentially just colors, which colors is a big thing. But, kind of what else? If we dig deeper into it, what is the difference between a VR1 or an XC? And Bruce is here to really kind of walk us through what's what and what's the difference between these two sleds.
Hey guys, hope everybody had a good Christmas. And so yeah, XC wise, one of the things that you got to remember is, as we've stated before, whether it be an XC, a VR1, or a cross country that we've done a video on, is the chassis and the geometries are the same. So as far as what they build off of, the XC is still a very, very good snowmobile. And when you come away from that and you go into a VR1, you're getting the add-ons. You're getting the more clicker adjustments in the shocks, the velocity shocks compared to the Fox 3-position that we've talked about before, which we'll go over. The gauge, obviously, the 7S display is standard on a VR1 or a boost, and whereas an XC, you can get it either way. So, those kinds of things are those bells and whistles are what you're paying for. That, even painted panels compared to not painted panels. So all these little things add up to dollars.
Premium options,
right. But the thing is that the XC, as far as quality and the ride characteristic and how it handles, is the same platform that we use in all of the stuff, which works out very well for us in general. One, the quality of parts are still the same, and you have issues in the winter if somebody breaks something or comes up against something that's immovable and tends to bend other things. It's easy to keep more parts in stock, so it's always it's a better thing for everyone in the end. But you're gaining all those same parts in an XC. With that being said, the shock deal that we've talked about before, this is using the Velocity Walker Evans, which we've talked about, which the bridge where the clicker is halfway up. So the first movement of the shock is softer, and then as the shock goes up and goes past where it's pushing oil in through the clicker, it gets stiffer.
Right, position sensing.
Position sensing, yes. And your 12, 13 clicks on these.
Yeah, compression adjustment makes your shock, stiffer, softer.
Yeah, and that is on all 4 shocks. You all have that clickability and that velocity. When you go to an XC, we're dealing with the Fox, which is a 3-position, just 1, 2, 3. And it does work well. It's a very smooth, nice coated shock. So even internal parts move very freely. And but you're going basically 1, which is what the valving is, 2, which is 20% stiffer, and 3, which is 80% stiffer. And it is way noticeable. So, and then the rear shock on this is also a 3-position shock, but it is we talked about position sensing. the rear shock on this, which is a long shock on these, the center of it is rifle board. So it's got these grooves going down the center inside the shock. So as this goes through its travel, it starts out at the top, you know, when you sit on it, basically puts that shock into that rifle boring so that oil can bypass the piston, and it just makes it smooth going over that stutter stuff. You don't feel all that stuff, and it does work well. When you are putting stiffer springs on those, though, sometimes you do have to kind of ask the question, because we're doing some internal stuff and changing that so that the rebound isn't so quick, because it does make the rebound a little bit quicker. But in general, that is exclusive to that, and it does work well in that box shop.
Right. So we're going to get into the rears in a little bit later, but as far as front end geometry, just like Bruce said in the beginning, it's exactly the same. You know, what you're going to get difference-wise is just the shock package from 1-to-1. It's going to have the same exact springs on it. You have an 80-pound spring on your VR1. You have an 80-pound spring on your XC. The only difference is the shocks up front.
Yep.
You get the same skis, VR1 to XC. You get the same carbide. And, kind of moving on from that. Again, VR1s is a Snow Check exclusive model. So you're going to get some different color options, some premium color options. Your XCs are going to be, whatever they came out with that year, a few set color combos is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Moving back, VR1 comes standard with a 7S, XC does not. But again, as we just keep moving through, it is the same exact platform.
Yeah, your quality of braking, which the new brakes in the past few years are just really, really good. The emergency brake now, parking brake is much better. So in the old days, you needed 2 men and a boy to do it, and you thought sure you were going to brake it every time you put it on,
Especially when it was cold out.
Oh yeah. So you do end up with that, that same quality stuff through and through. And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Braking is a big deal.
Yeah, so you come over here, all your controls are going to be the same on an XC. Again, this is your standard gauge. Standard gauge has been around
since 2010, I think. Yeah.
Trivia question.
Yeah.
Is Bruce right or wrong? Put it down in the comments. So standard gauge. The other thing that they just switched around this year on us that we noticed, I think when sleds started showing up, your VR1 comes with the Nightblade headlight. So it has like that darker backing to it, with some fancy lighting in there. And your XCs come with it this year, 24 exclusively, started going with a standard LED headlight and not the Nightblade. Yeah. 23 model XCs did in fact have the Nightblade.
Yeah.
Same one. XCs went to this. I would like to do a video comparison because some people are saying that these work really, really well. So, I'm interested to kind of see that, but that is another difference that we pointed out.
Yeah. I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong with that headlight. I mean, they even put that headlight on the cross country.
Yep.
And those guys are, they're depending on it a lot. On
this is just one more premium step up that people do like to see. This one just happened to have mirrors, which is really nice. A lot of people like them. They blend in really well and they work well. So that's an option. That's an accessory. Again, you could put that on your XC as well, but that just happens to be on here. You have your Polaris handguards, which we've touched on before, but me and Bruce were just talking about it now. About clearance. I get the question all the time.
Yeah, this is our very common windshield. This is our mid windshield that we use in in the flatland stuff, and it does when you get just before lock here, you're coming in contact with it on both sides. If you want handguards, because it still is more protection than just this windshield, and you don't want it to hit, you want to go to a mountain mid.
So it's a little bit shorter windshield. Yeah. Kind of just gets rid of this top piece there.
It's pushed down a little bit like this. So.
Yeah, and your outers, I think, are shrunk in a little bit. But that'll, for the most part, clear anything that you have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, again, moving kind of front to back here, it kind of leads us to the rear. So we're going to get these things tipped up on its side and show you guys differences and similarities in the rear. All right, we got them tipped up on their side. So rear suspension is identical geometry there. It's a Pro CC rear suspension. Again, you could get it either in a 137 or 129. 129 is a little bit shorter, a little bit different geometry, but for the most part the same. So getting inside here, Bruce is going to kind of walk us through what's what here and what we're looking at.
Okay, so all these suspensions that we're dealing with deal with rear torsion springs, which are adjustable by low, medium, and high. We talk about that stuff a lot. Where for ride characteristic and the weight of the rider, you don't have to have that on the same level, by the way. You can go low, medium, high, just to get splitting hairs for making it ride better. So here's your front strap we talk about all the time. Both of these shocks are the velocity shocks, which are clicker adjust under here. The same type of clicker that's on the front. So these are all, and this also has the rail brace on it right here, which just stiffens. This is the smallest part of the rail, so it's the most call it the weakest portion, and they put a rail brace on it on a VR1, whereas on an XC they don't.
Yep. And you have your standard plastic rear coupler blocks, rear scissor stops, and 3 wheels on the back.
Yeah.
And then moving over to the XC,
so all the same pieces and parts that we talked about, other than we're dealing with not the rail brace here. We just have the bumper for when this bottoms out, the spring hits the rail bumper, and then we have Fox shocks. This is the one I was talking about, which is position sensing, because it has rifle boring inside about this distance, so that where the shock is running in here, it's the smoothest area. And you have the 1, 2, 3 adjustment, just like on the front of this for this shock and the front track shock.
Yep. But aside from that, they both come standard with standard duty rear torsion springs. Neither one of them come with a heavy duty, which we talk about, pretty decently. You can go back in our suspension videos to kind of learn a little bit more about that, or put a comment down below. I'll be happy to, kind of walk you through what spring you should have for your weight. But aside from that, you're getting the same exact rear suspension, just a couple little added bonuses in the VR1.
Yeah.
But looking at it from a whole, very, very, very similar. Again, you're just getting a few extra premium options that you could snow check, order that, and build it just how you want.
Yeah, it is. It's they really standardize this chassis, and it does. It makes it real easy for us, like I said, and no matter what you're paying for, whether it be an XC or a VR1 or whatever, you're getting the quality. The base quality is all there throughout the whole line.
Right.
Yep.
So XC, awesome model. On XCs, great model, great sled. There are some promotions, some rebates going on with them that are really good. You're getting a lot for the price of the sleds. And
yeah, you really are. Through the month of December, it was a really strong rebate. We sold a lot of this product. On the VR1 leftover stuff, there's some bonuses, or you can get a 2nd-year warranty, those kinds of things. So you can check with your dealer or me, and we'll go over that with you as far as what you get.
But that's the XC, guys. XC versus VR1. Again, just like we said a million times, awesome sled, same exact platform as a VR1, just not as many bells and whistles. But if that is what you're looking for, then definitely a good time to pick them up. And again, just like Bruce said, check with your local dealer, call Bruce, and see kind of what pricing is on them. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.